legislature legalized unverifiable voting in 2000.
Like you said to Trump, but they're getting beauty.
They said, go out there and rob these houses and bring back the bounty, and then that'll pay your way.
Because Republicans who get endorsement from Georgia carry that they mean anything.
You can't sit on the sidelines any longer. You must get involved in the game. This is your sign.
All of us coming back. I cannot accept this fade to black, and the thought of the wasted dreams of a nation down on its knees. Is it already over? Tickets to the circus show. If you don't, then you'll never know. Take a stand while you have the time. Drown your fear and keep hope alive. Be the change that you want to see. Be the wrench inside the machine. Is it already over? Is it already over? I don't think it's over.
All right, everybody, good evening. Welcome to this special edition of Small Town Underground. Just to let you know, it is storming here. We've had some pretty big lightning and thunderbursts. So if something happens and the show ends up going offline, we are recording this show, and we'll try to get to as many of the comments and questions and concerns as possible tonight. So this is a special Monday night live stream, as we will not be doing a show on Wednesday. We're just going to do the show tonight since it's sort of election eve, and we have the jungle primary tomorrow. And so I've wanted to just do an interview again with Colton before this, and just kind of talk about everything going on, where we look at like in the future. And I was able to talk Josh Abernathy, his campaign manager, into coming in with me. And so I'm super excited to have you guys with us. And you both look a little tired to me. So I'm just going to say, it's kind of like you're doing 90 to nothing, and when we're sitting here trying to get ready for the show, it's like the battery starts running down. Is that a fair assumption?
I don't know. If you got some coffee, we'll take it.
You know, I will get you some coffee here in just a second. And I should have offered you that already, but we were running a tad bit behind trying to get everything situated here. So. But welcome to the show, guys. It's good to see you.
I appreciate you having us. We're obviously hot on the trail. You know, we're in about the last less than 24 hours now to the end of the election. I mean, we've had, quite the journey. We've got over 100 registered volunteers. We knocked on, I think, 1,700 doors this Saturday. So, we've got the grassroots like I've never seen before on any other campaign. Mm-hmm. And I guess if you can define yourself by your enemies, the swamp money has come down against us so hard. And we're, never did I think on the night before the election, our biggest concern would be, being framed up as some type of crazy fraud with all these text messages that are going out to everybody. I'm
Yeah.
not going to be surprised at this point if they start sending them at 1 o'clock in the morning. We probably shouldn't give them any ideas, but
Well,
you
let's
know.
talk about that for a second because I'm one of those people that got these weird, crazy text messages. And at first I was like, this is sort of below the belt. It's very, very spicy stuff. And so I got in touch with you immediately. And I was like, hey, is this you? And you said, no, it's not me. This is not us. And I didn't know it was, I guess, coming in real time to several people. And then
Right. people
are calling and texting me and saying, hey, what's going on? And then I start seeing this stuff online about people are upset because,
By law,
Yeah.
if we're going to send out a text message, we have to put at the bottom of it a disclaimer about who it's paid for.
Right.
Right. We have to pay, paid for by Colton Moore for Congress. None of these text messages have that on the bottom of them.
Yes.
They're outlandish. I mean, they're calling our opponent's wife a transvestite.
Yes.
I mean, I'm never going to go after somebody's wife or somebody's family. And it's just mind-boggling to me that because they're so upset that we have exposed the fact that he's donated to Democrats, that he does have, I think 5 or 6 very compromising photos of him in makeup and just kind of weird stuff, that they try to just go far and beyond that to try to discredit everything that is true.
Right.
So I think when you start to expose evil, a lot of times evil comes back as if you're the bad guy. I think we've seen that many times in my political career, when we were exposing what happened with David Ralston, and this was a order of business, legislative business, to name a building after this guy. And, what do? They framed it up like it was some type of memorial service or something like that. So, that's classic evil for you, always trying to counterfeit what the actual truth is.
Right.
And, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild this evening.
Yeah, I agree with that. So just so that we're on record, your campaign is not sending these texts out because they're coming out at like 1 an hour right now.
Yeah.
So-
No, 100%, not us.
Yeah, I
No,
just thought I would put that out there. I've been staying out of the, I don't do endorsements. Obviously, everybody knows that you and me are close. But this is way too lowbrow for anybody. I mean, I don't think that Clay Fuller would even be, allowing stuff like that to go out. I don't think, unless it's, somebody going rogue. here doing something.
it could be Sean Harris's campaign,
Yeah.
trying to take down both Clay and myself. That's a possibility. Apparently, Clay's released some video that he had recorded earlier this morning. So I don't know. It kind of looks like, I don't know. I don't want to speculate where it's coming from, but
So
it's
he
definitely
made
not coming from us.
Clay made a statement about this video, or these messages? Or?
Yeah, later this evening. But the video was like it was recorded this morning. One guy suggested to me, "Hey, did Clayton know this was coming out and pre-recorded
really?
a video this morning?" So I don't know.
Oh.
It's all speculation.
Got you. I got
yeah.
you. Okay, well, it's floating around. So I suppose that we're getting, it's starting to fill up here. We've got several people.
Hey, Justin.
And yes, absolutely. So we just wanted to I just want to make that clear that that's whatever is going on with these text messages are not coming from you, and who knows where they're coming from. I think people are already looking it up. It's like a South Carolina phone number or something.
Yeah, I mean, obviously our team's tried to figure it out where they're coming
Yeah.
from. We haven't had any luck figuring that out.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's as long as I've known you. I don't think that was.
it just shows you how much dark money too is in politics.
Well, there's quite
you
a
know?
bit, isn't there?
Yeah, and it's very hard to trace.
Yeah.
It's part of the campaign finance reform that I would really like to see. And we've regulated campaign finance just to allow more dark money to come in, and it's really not right to everyday folks.
You mean Josh is not funding your campaign?
No, no.
Me and my firefighter living.
I thought you won the lottery or something.
Buddy, I bought enough scratch offs. I've tried. Okay. But
All right, look, some people don't know you. I didn't know you. I've known who you are for a long time, but we didn't officially meet till a few months ago. So why don't you give us a little bit of background and just kind of tell us why you decided to come and work for Colton, because you weren't even in this state, right?
Correct. So I'm originally from Chatsworth. From Crandall, Georgia.
Right.
In Murray County. I was always interested in politics, but growing up in Murray County, there wasn't really an avenue until Marjorie Greene ran in
That's right.
2020.
Okay.
I went to her campaign headquarters when she was a candidate in the 6th Congressional District, and I signed up as a volunteer. And when she moved to the 14th District, I was the only volunteer left on her roll. And so I had a really good front row seat on what it takes to run a winning congressional campaign. And actually at that time back to Colton, I didn't like Colton. I talked bad about him.
I got you.
And after that election cycle, he went right back to work in the state house for the remainder of his term and continued to fight hard for all the issues that I thought he was just using as a campaign ploy. At that point, I then realized that, you know, this guy is serious and he means what he says
Right.
when he plans to fight for his constituents and for his community. So at that point, I searched high and low for a couple of days to try and find somebody who could give me his phone number, and I called him up and I just apologized, and he was gracious enough to forgive me.
Right.
And so I made a promise to him then, look, if you run for this seat again, I'll do everything I can to get you elected. And then 2 years later, he was elected to state senate.
Josh, tell him about the fact that you became like the youngest intern in Washington, D.C. With Marjorie.
Right, so I wasn't an intern with Marjorie or in D.C., but I was 16 years old, and I had just finished my first year of college through Georgia's dual enrollment program. And Tom Graves was our congressman at the time, and I knew I liked politics, so I applied for an internship here in the district. And they came back and they said, well, you don't have the prerequisite college experience. So then I printed off my transcript and carried it to the office, and I was like, well, I'm in high school, but I also am in my second year of college. So I would like you to reconsider, and they did. And I was the youngest congressional intern that we can find.
Right.
You know?
Got you. That's pretty cool, man. Like I said, I knew who you were years ago when you worked for the Marjorie campaign. I think our paths had maybe crossed maybe once or so, but I kind of got booted out of that early on and just kind of watched from the sidelines, you know, about 2022. But you know,
Roy, he's not a career politico.
No,
like he's
no.
he was a firefighter at Whitfield County.
Okay,
He's been a firefighter out in Wyoming.
Yeah,
Right.
so
That's what you're a firefighter. You've been all over, right?
I had the privilege and misfortune of going to Washington, D.C. when Marjorie was elected.
Okay.
I worked as a congressional staffer in her office for the first 6 months, so I was in the Capitol on January 6th. I mean, I have a lot of
You were
cool stories.
Where were you at? In conjunction to the chamber.
Well, we were watching the objection of the 2020 election results on C-SPAN from our office.
Okay.
Paul Gosar got up to object to Arizona, and Ted Cruz had just stood up to object, to be the senator to object for that state. And the camera went shaky and flashed around, and there was a bunch of commotion, and we were like, what the crap's happening? So at that point, we start getting emails from the United States Capitol Police. And our team in the chamber, Marjorie, the chief of staff, and I think the legislative director were being ushered out. And so they called us and they said, hey, can you bring some food and a change of clothes to the member? And so myself and three of the other staffers in the office were en route to do that when we got another email from the Capitol Police telling us to evacuate the hallways immediately to the nearest office. So we had to turn around and get back to our office. So
Wow.
saw a lot of interesting stuff that day. But regardless of the fact, I left that job. D.C. was not a place where I would want to start a family, and we have a 3-year-old son now. Ended up becoming a fireman in Whitfield County. Came back home. And my wife and I, we loved the West. We'd been to Wyoming quite extensively, so we knew we would want to move there, so we did. Became a fireman in Wyoming. Saw a lot of cool stuff, done a lot of cool stuff, but I was in the middle of a career transition when Colton called, and I had the opportunity and the desire to come back home. I mean, Appalachian Mountains have a gravitational pull like nowhere else.
Right.
Especially if you're from here. So my wife and I just decided to come back and give it all we got.
Got you. So now you're here, and we're in this jungle primary. And I have a couple questions about that, and I'm hoping I'm sure you guys can answer this, because people are asking. This jungle primary is tomorrow night, and it's an open primary, and so everybody, there's a consensus that Sean Harris is going to be one of the top two. Okay,
Yeah.
There's a consensus out there. So obviously we have an entire pool of Republicans, and it's safe to say that there's two top people that are vying for this position. But what we know in Atlanta is that several people have qualified, right? So explain to the viewers, because I'm trying to explain to them as well. And these are questions I've gotten 50 of these questions a day. What happens after this jungle primary? Let's just hypothetically say that you are the winner of the jungle primary. What happens? What does that do for you? Because you've got all of the other people that are qualifying in May.
So the top 2 vote getters will go to a runoff, and that'll be on April the 7th.
So April the 7th,
Right.
and that is a runoff,
Right.
regardless.
So it's a runoff, whoever the top 2 vote getters are
Gotcha.
Tomorrow. Now, our numbers are showing that Sean Harris is most likely going to be the top vote getter, and then it's going to be us versus Clay, whichever Republican can get the most votes to go into that runoff.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's what this whole, and that's what I was trying to explain to people, and I want to make it very clear because so many people have questions about this. So that person will go in, and then when they go into the runoff, then whoever wins that runoff will actually get the incumbent
Right.
spot, and then
They'll
go into
be the
May.
congressman, right, up until January 3rd of next year.
Right. They're going to
Yeah.
They're going to take the position, and then you're still going to have to go through a primary.
Yeah, the
and
primary is
everything
still on
else.
May 19th,
And then
and that's to set the nomination for the Republican and the Democratic Party, which then goes to the general election in November, which will set the seat for the next
Gotcha.
2 years.
So I hope that is clear to everybody. I've been telling people that's pretty much what's going to happen. You're going to go into a runoff, and then, but will still have other candidates, I suppose, that are going to qualify for May, right?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. So how are you feeling about it?
Man, I feel I actually feel pretty good today in the sense that my opponent has been so desperate to come out with these just radical text messages. It shows me that they've got some type of internal polling that's showing that we're probably on top today. So this is their last ditch effort to try to make us look bad, and they don't have anything against us, so they're just lying and making stuff up, And that's kind of, in a weird way. It's like, well, maybe we are winning today. But ultimately, it's going to be up to your listeners and everyone else to get to the polls and go vote, and rally your friends and your family to go vote as well. Because, it's a low turnout election. It's a special election. Votes in this election really count for more. They carry more weight than they do in a typical election.
Right, absolutely. I would love to never have to go through another jungle primary again. This has been wild. Hope maybe we can get that fixed in the state. We can't seem to get a lot fixed even with our Republicans, but so I want to talk a little bit more about criticism too, because this gets brought up a lot whenever I look online, because I largely stay out of all of this stuff. We're here to educate, but a lot of people think that you are doing the things that you do because you're just trying to garner attention, or you're just trying to showboat. Now, personally, I was at the Capitol with you. I've seen you fight. I understand what you're doing, but what do you say to people out there that might be out here listening and sitting there and thinking that you're just a showboater, right?
There's obviously a lot of politicians who they are just grifting and trying to find the next big news cycle that they can get into. But Roy, understand, I've got a dream job outside of politics. I get to travel the globe and be an auctioneer and sell heavy equipment. It's the greatest job of my life. I've got a farm. I've got cows and sheep. I've got a wife that plays the harp. I have a great life outside of politics, and I'm in this fight to live and to hopefully, defend freedom for the next generation. And obviously, when you go up in today's climate in politics and you defend freedom, you make the headlines because there are so far few of people who are actually doing it. You end up with all the attention.
I agree with that.
I think that shows more than anything that
Credit card.
Okay. Be there in a minute.
Yeah, I think that shows more than anything that I'm actually in the fight for the right reasons. I mean, if we lose, I don't want a career in politics. I mean, people don't understand too. In the state senate, I mean, you make $20-something thousand a year, and you get a $7,000 expense account, and you got to pay for your own place to stay in Atlanta while you're there in session. I mean, it literally costs me about $30,000 a year to be a state senator. Like that's money that I'm having to pay, basically an opportunity cost and having a place to stay in Atlanta just to do the job.
Right.
I mean, it is not designed for everyday people to go in and legislate in the state Senate and the state House. And that's what they say. It's supposed to be a citizen-led legislature, but it's really not. It's a bunch of old retired folks who have really no idea what's going on in everyday society. It's a bunch of attorneys who are obviously out there for their own interest.
Right.
And there are very few everyday citizens in there in the fight.
Yes, I agree with that. So what we're going to do is, as you guys know, I'm running a business as well. I need to step right over in the room for about a minute and help my father. So what I want you to do is just remind everybody about your campaign, what it's all about, and then I'll be right back. Okay?
All right. Yeah, man. I mean, folks, if you're watching, be sure that you have a game plan for when you're going to go vote tomorrow. And please call up your friends, call up your family, tell them how critical this is. I mean, we are clearly in a battle of good and evil right now in this country. And ultimately, there's a lot of candidates in this race, and they're saying a lot of the same things. But we're the only candidate in the race who actually has a proven record in the legislature for standing up for real constitutional principles. I'm the only legislator to vote against the budget, to call out the fact that we're giving away all of our tax money to corporate subsidies instead of funding the proper roles of government, like firefighters, like police officers. It's very clear that none of these other candidates, while they talk a big game, have any of that experience. It's like purchasing tea. And I've said this many times on the campaign trail. You can look at the tea, and it may look like a tasty tea, but until the hot water hits it, you really don't know what it's going to taste like. Anything you want to add, Josh?
No, the election really comes down to what Colton said is a battle of good versus evil. And I think we've seen in the last couple of months in the United States that there is a lot of evil. And fortunately, we have poked the hornet's nest on that, and they're stirring up absolutely everything they can to protect their players, their team, their side. And when you pose a threat to them, they're going to come out against you in absolute force. But I'm willing to bet, dang near the farm if I had one, that there's no other candidate in this campaign who has the grassroots that we do to work as hard as we have.
Yeah, but the polls are going to be tight.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. So, I just can't reiterate enough. Make sure you have a game plan to go vote.
And just so everybody knows out there, the polls are going to be voting at your own precinct tomorrow, wherever that's at, and I believe they close at
7 a.m. is when they open. They close at 7 p.m.
Okay, good deal. So I know we've got a lot of comments, probably questions we'll be going through here in just a little bit. So is there anything else on your mind that you want to bring up at the moment? And guys, this is your time to add your comments, your questions on here. We will be getting to them because we're not going to keep Colton and them forever tonight. They've got a lot of stuff to do between now and tomorrow. So,
I think a lot of the hot button issues right now, obviously, when it's a big district. There's 10 counties. Yeah. Every county's probably got a little different idea of what they'd like to see done in the federal government. And from an agricultural stance here in Northwest Georgia, I want to stop any foreign entity, China, any foreign entity from buying any of our farmlands.
That's a must.
That is a must. And then, obviously in Whitfield County and in Floyd County, we've got all the PFAS going on. This PFAS chemical, it's made in China, and these carpet companies claim that they're not using it anymore, but every test that's run shows that it's still popping up. Just ban PFAS from being able to be imported into the United States. Clear and simple.
Agreed.
And people need to be held liable for knowing how bad this chemical is. I was talking to some engineers who are very keen in on PFAS, and apparently there's like 15,000 different variants of it. And every company that uses PFAS essentially has like a trade name to that patent or whatever it may be, the 15,000 different variants. So when you test it, you can trace it right back to whichever company it came from.
Right, it's got a little bit of molecular differences, right?
Yeah.
Now, some of the Republicans would not agree with you on that. You realize that? You see the bills that's going in Georgia right now?
Republicans in name only because they want to destroy the 7th Amendment, right? Which is the right to a jury trial. That's why they call me the Rhino Wrangler, because ultimately I was the only guy, the only state senator to vote against any of the tort reform. I was the only Republican to vote against the Monsanto legislation in the Senate, because they in order to protect the big corporate interests,
Right.
they want to immune them from any type of lawsuit, which is taking away our very Bill of Rights.
Yeah, it's a corporate welfare state we're living in, and you look at you had the tort reform in last year to some of the stuff that they're pulling this year, and we can't even get simple election integrity bills passed right now. And crossover, it's abhorrent to me. But
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we're getting reports. The election machines aren't even being tested as required by law. The law's not being enforced when it comes to election integrity. Right? We know there's 300,000 ballots that didn't have the 3 signatures. I mean, you can pass all the law you want, but until it's enforced, it doesn't mean anything. I mean, just before I came on your show, you probably overheard that phone call, the guy who was complaining about speeders going down his road, right? He was like, we've got to do something about these speeders. Well, the speed limit's 55. If they're driving over 55, then they need a ticket, right? So it's an enforcement issue. It's not a law issue.
no, you're 100% right. And when I look at Congress, all right, let's talk about this for just a second, because the job is to go up to D.C. And I look at Congress. It's something as simple as the SAVE Act. We can't get passed. How are you going to handle that?
Well, I mean, I guess the same way I've handled it in the state legislature. I'm notorious for forcing votes. A lot of people forget. You hear politicians all the time, and they say, "Well, I'm going to promote this, or I'm going to promote that," and it's all offensive measures, right? But where's the defense? Right? And to be a good legislator, you also have to be good at stopping bad legislation. And in the same token, you can use those skills of legislative procedure, right? Calling objection, forcing different motions, forcing different votes, and you can do that on the offensive as well. But a lot of legislators don't understand that, nor do they have the courage to stand up there and, in the U.S. case, 400 other members and say, objection.
Right.
Thomas Massey did that back when the largest spending bill in American history was about to be passed, and he went on and just said, objection, I want to see a roll call vote on this issue, right?
Yes. And when you think about that, though, it's crazy to me that we have under Donald Trump, this administration, they're having to actually come out and say, we're not going to pass another single bit of legislation until we get it. And to me, that's just, I mean, we've got to have people that are going to stand up to this and fight. I mean, that's all there is to it.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's a ratcheting effect, just like any new tax or any new regulation or any new spending. Once it happens, you can't get it back.
Right. Yeah, man. So what do you say to people, too, that so I'll give you, that's a perfect example you brought up, is that some people, the criticisms that I see online are like, well, what did Colton Moore ever do for Northwest Georgia, right? And I read that and I think about what, a week and a half ago, we had people up at the Capitol, and they took a picture of the latest bill count, everything to make it over the threshold for crossover. It was somewhere along the lines of 3,000 bills in the Georgia legislature alone. And I'm sitting here I want somebody to put the brakes on this. Could you imagine if Georgia passed 3,000 bills in 40 days? How is that even physically possible? But it's just when people say these kind of criticisms, I think about what the things that you've stood up for, and it's more pro-human than anything we've got going on right now. And I mean, that's the kind of leadership that I think that we need, is somebody that is willing to stand on the line and say enough's enough for this. I mean, I love stopping bad legislation. I mean, there are countless times. Bad.
Oh yeah, there's countless times where we'd stand there in the ante room. There would be some ridiculous piece of legislation. I even told the majority leader one time, I said, man, you guys are just making it way too easy on me. I mean, I'm about to go up there and just shred this piece of legislation up on the floor. And they would take the bill off. They'd say, okay, we're not going to hear it. Colton Moore's going to cause a big old fuss about it. So we're not even going to hear the legislation.
Right. Yeah, man, it's just, it's wild. I think all of us are kind of, I said this so many times, with Marjorie in that position, we never worried about much of anything, right? You look at her voting record, you knew that no matter what, she was gonna keep that conservative principle. And so Northwest Georgia's not used to the jungle primary. I think we're all ready to kind of get this over with, and I'm sure that it's been taxing on you guys as well. So, but again, I mean, who knows? It's anybody's bet on how this is going to go tomorrow, right? And the most important thing is that people need to get out and they need to vote, right?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's us. It's Northwest Georgia versus the swamp tomorrow.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
I feel like I started out this legislative session with some high hopes, and at crossover, I'm just sitting here I'm just streamlined right now. I don't even know.
Well, I think people are starting to realize, the House is talking about eliminating property taxes. The Senate's talking about eliminating income taxes. And both of them are going to meet in the middle. They're going to accomplish neither one because they're not going to have any money then. They're just, one side, we're going to eliminate this half of the taxes. The other side's, we're going to eliminate the other half. Well, they're not going to do that. And then they're going to go home and they're going to campaign. Well, I pushed hard to pass this, and the other side didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
So, meanwhile, all the citizens are left holding the bag.
Yes. So, all right. So, what we're going to do, we got a good crowd with us tonight, and I'm hoping that we have some good questions in here for Colton. So, Stephanie Page, good to see you. Sharon Holland, good to see you. Austin McDonald, good to have you. Happiness Jamie. Jan, Brandon Sheffield, good to see you. Vicky Sutton, Christina Benjamin, Chris Dean. Let's see. He says that's not him, and makeup, you were lying already. So I think it's pretty well established that you've publicly said none of that's coming from you.
Yeah, none of it's coming from me.
I think it's a bit ridiculous. That's just crazy when you see stuff like that, and it's like there's no way. So, all right, Marionette. Good evening to you, Carol Streeter, Mr. Mojo Rising. He says, to be fair, cross-dresser would fit right into D.C.
No, seriously, there are more transgender flags in Washington than there are American flags, I believe.
Yeah, well, we still have, a DEI problem. It's just under the surface. A lot of these companies have just sort of buried it. They just decided to take it out of limelight, and it's like the ostrich syndrome. If you don't see it, it isn't there, but it's alive and well. So, D.F. Hartman, good to see you. I'm glad he has not gotten any of those. And he says, I think it was Nikki Law. Oh, he probably said Llama, so we have no idea who it is. So, Marionette says, my question is, what's going to happen since we are not going for hand-marked paper ballots? Is our vote going to be cheated again?
And it's quite possible.
Yeah.
It's quite possible.
Well, it's rather concerning to me that we still can't get the most simple common sense. People are like, man, the SAVE Act isn't going to solve much. And I'm like, that's precisely my point. It's a very common sense law that requires an ID to vote. How much simpler can you get it? And we can't even get this Congress to pass it. That is. I wish people would think about that for a minute.
Well, it's in a Democrat-controlled Senate.
Yeah, well, of course it is. So, let's see. Diane Graham says no one knows who sent them out, so no speculation on this. Jan Sheffield says, okay, yeah, you're not accusing anybody. Gotcha. Sandra says, Colton, will you endorse our candidates that will unseat 3 of our corrupt commissioners?
That sounds like a great idea. I haven't been able to look into these 3 candidates. There's one of them who has, came to my machine gun shoots and stuff. Mm-hmm. But, it's our focus has been on our own campaign.
Right.
But, make sure you get those people elected.
I will say that it's good to see people running against some of these incumbents.
Oh, absolutely.
I really like to see
absolutely.
that. So. Jennifer White, good to have you. Fuller's campaign did send out a text supposedly from Trump earlier in the campaign. His campaign manager also blocked people from entering the Fuller rally after they've been approved by a Secret Service, not saying he did this to himself or Colton, but not saying he didn't. So, yeah, she's referring to the Rome, Georgia, I think.
What a drama that was.
Yeah, that ended up being a big thing. So, all right. You got a way to go, Josh. All right. Good to have you, Dana Tate. Ray Blankenship. Are the text messages coming from a foreign entity? Inquiring minds want to know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the spam, whatever this stuff, a lot of people have told me that it's a South Carolina, is it area code or whatever. So,
yeah.
Lisa Adams says, welcome to the jungle. Denise Owen, good to see you. Thomas White, good to see you. Let's see. Malcolm Davis, he says, go Colton.
All right, man.
Let's see. Tammy.
You got a lot of great Patriots.
Yes.
Watch your show.
Tammy Pearden said he voted in support you, Colton. Carol Streeter, my heart is broken how Georgia has allowed Satan and evil to take over. I mean, it feels that way sometimes,
doubt.
doesn't it? It really does. Brittany Massey, good to have you on the show. Happiness, Jamie. I think that's why Sean Harris sent out the text messages he would win against Clay, but not against Colton. Sneaky Democrats. So.
Well, and that plays back to something I've said for weeks now, is if you can go back and look, and Sean Harris is already directly attacking Clay Fuller.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Harris,
Yeah.
I believe, has the poll numbers that would support his belief to say he has a better chance to get this seat if he's going against Clay Fuller.
Mm-hmm.
So he wants the Republicans to believe that he's scared of Colton. I mean, he's scared of Clay,
Right.
so that the Republicans will rally behind him and push him
Well-
into a runoff. Which is why I wouldn't put any of this stuff
Right.
to that some people may believe plays in Clay's advantage to come from Sean Harris, because Democrats have never had a better opportunity for an upset in Northwest Georgia. They still
Yeah.
have a long way to go.
So
But
let's just
I
talk
do.
about Sean for a second, right? We we've been so hyper focused. I know you guys have, but we as conservatives, we've been focusing on this jungle primary. But you have a candidate who ran against Marjorie before,
Yeah.
who looks like this just jolly old dude that's just there in town. If you watch, a lot of people have said, man, if I didn't know who the man was and I watched this commercial, I would swear he was a Republican. And then not only is he out there making concessions, he's been said that if he wins, he's going to put a Republican in his little cabinet, and all of these things, and trying to come in the middle. And it's unfortunate because we're in the middle of this jungle primary with all these people, and we've not been focusing on Sean. And it seems like Sean can pick up votes every day, And he, what do you think?
Yeah, I think he's got $4 million or something like
Yes,
that
from
and,
coast to coast too.
Yeah, and if he's not able to get any bigger numbers than what he's got with $4 million, and
Yeah.
I don't really spend much time thinking about
Well,
it.
I mean, we hope not, right?
I mean, he's calling himself a cattle farmer, but he's got a bunch of pets. I mean,
Right.
he's not exactly a cattle farmer. He's got some cow pets that he pets on. And how can you be a Democrat, be a cattleman, and your party doesn't even know how to define what a man and a woman is? Like, does he
True.
understand what a steer and a heifer is?
Well, I'd like to know where he stands on some of these Democrat votes in and of itself.
Sure.
He sounds squeaky clean, but
Well, I tell you, if when we make it into a runoff with him, first thing I'm going to do is challenge him to just a basic cattle sort down at the stockyard,
There you
and
go.
we'll see if he shows up for that. So.
got you. Yeah, at some point he's almost been given a free ride, but that's what jungle primaries are great for, aren't they? I mean, this is ridiculous. What do you have to say about open primaries, man?
Oh, shut it down. Shut it down. I have been in favor of closed primaries from the very get-go. I mean, it all goes back to the argument of freedom of association.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're out on the campaign trail, Josh and I, we've been knocking on, so many doors, and you go to these doors and these people are Democrats, right? But they vote in the Republican primary, so they're showing up on our data as if they're Republicans. Any elected official who's not for closed primaries has not actually been on the ground campaigning.
Right. Well, you don't. I don't even think about that. It's like that's the whole psychology behind an open primary, right? Democrats will align together to try to sway votes to the weakest Republican candidate in order to swing it.
Right.
I don't even think that way. Like, I would never go to a Democratic primary and vote in that, but that's just what they do. So that's the whole design of them, right?
Right.
They need to go. It's just ridiculous. So, okay, Trey Elmendorf. Sorry, good to see you tonight. Let's see. Erica Gans says Fuller is desperate. You're saying he's transgender and a Democrat. What are his lies? So, any response to that?
Yeah, so we don't know if it's Fuller who's coming out with all these crazy text messages, but what is true is the fact that he does have 5 or 6 different very compromising pictures, him in makeup, him posing as a female, and it is, very evident that you can look at the financial records, how he's donated to Democrats on countless occasions. He worked for a Democrat in New York. I mean, he's been openly praising Tim Olson, the guy who led the charge for marriage equality. I mean, those are all facts about Clay Fuller. And what's mind-boggling to me is that we're in the day before the election, And then the tactic against us is to send out a bunch of crazy text messages that go far and beyond that, like saying his wife is a transgender. And I would never attack the man's wife or his family.
Right. Yeah, I certainly didn't expect any of that today. That's just crazy. And people are upset about it. They are. It's just wild. Okay. Sandra, let's see. Brittany Massey. Christian Hertford, Georgia says, ending the jungle primary will be my second bill in the state house. We need to do it like Tennessee with normal party primaries and then the special election. Well said.
Christian, you need to come on the show.
Yeah, we're going to get Christian on the show. We've been focusing primarily on getting through this jungle. I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just feeling my way through this.
Yeah.
So it's been hard. I've had to reschedule things, but we're going to get Christian. There's a lot of people that we're going to bring on the show. We want to connect. So let's see here. Something BWD SMD. That's just the rhinos talking. So I don't know what that was about. Andrew Kyer, good to see you. He's becoming my hero. He says, go more. So,
all right.
Christopher Key says, we are being poisoned. Good to see you, Christopher Key. We are being poisoned by the vaccines, water, food, air, and frequencies. We have the solutions. Please watch this, understand my pain chips, energy chips, masterpiece. So, Christopher Key has some links there that people can check out. And thank you for your comments, sir. Diane Graham, when they can't go after Colton on his voting record, then they turn to name calling like showboating. So, well, again, I don't understand. I mean, maybe it's because I have this theory. People are very uncomfortable. Like when the truth is around, people are so uncomfortable, and they just want to kind of go back to their tea, sipping tea politics, right? The cigar and just everybody going having a good time. And it's like, how can you celebrate any of the parties right now when we can't get anything accomplished? We can't get anything done. We can't get any legislation passed, and this big, nasty ball just keeps rolling down the court. Like, how do you go back to just the days of Republican when everybody's just like sitting there rejoicing? Like,
yeah, well, we're not going back to those days.
We can't.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the fight for our whole country right now.
So I don't know how people can say that you're showboating because, I mean, if you just follow just a simple story and understand the things.
Yeah,
that
going
happen.
to jail is not fun.
No.
Being thrown down on the ground and assaulted by a fake attorney.
Well, and people
is
are
not
more
fun.
outraged by the things that you said in the pulley pit, against the late Speaker Ralston, more than they're outraged at the decades long, kind of what I would call fraud, that he did, the lawfare that he did, and the people that he protected. If anybody's read that report, and I can't remember the guy's name that made it, you might remember him, but that did that huge report about that. If you've ever actually read it about Ralston, it's
Derek Somerville.
Derek Somerville. Yeah. If you've ever actually read that, if anybody would take the time to read that,
yeah.
Now, how do you go to church on Sunday and say I love Jesus, but you can read that report and be more outraged at what you said versus what's in that paper?
Yeah,
it's beyond me. I don't even have a mind for that. So there. Let's see here. And let's see. You got people on here voting for you, man. John Fishburne says hello. Beth Dunn. There's people that are like offering rides. Courtney,
Beth,
and
if you could get that 12-passenger minivan full, make that your personal contribution to the campaign. Get it full, and then go vote for Colton tomorrow.
Sure,
yeah, that'd be great.
Jonathan Long, good to see you. He says, desperate, aren't you, Colty? So I guess there's not a fan.
No, we're certainly not desperate.
All right, Courtney Ann says, Colton, how do you feel about gay folks?
I mean, if gay is your way, that's okay. But I'm not supporting it.
Okay.
So I'm not going to be pushing, like my opponent for marriage equality. Okay. I believe marriage is between a man and a woman, and would invite them to a church of their choice.
10-4. Okay. Carol Streeter, hate is unreal. Malcolm Davis, good to see you. Let's see. Marty Brown for Georgia, good to see you. Marty Brown's another one. He dropped out. I'm sure his name's probably still on there, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, Marty's running for state senate now. I would encourage folks to go out there and vote for Marty.
He's another one we're going to be on the show soon. He doesn't know it yet, but he's going to.
Yeah, Marty, make sure you come on the show.
Absolutely. Trish White, good to see you. Deborah, let's see, Deborah 98. Your precinct until 5 p.m. After 5, any precinct. She makes a good point. Your precinct until 5 p.m. and after 5 p.m. any precinct in your county, if I remember correctly. So do we know if that's?
I'm not exactly sure on that.
I've never heard that. Just go to your precinct to be safe.
Yeah, it's be safe. Go to your precinct.
Yeah.
But I have heard that before. But again, we just be safe. Go to your precinct. And Malcolm Davis, good to see you. D.F. Hartman, I'm calling from the 5th Congressional District. Good luck tomorrow, Colton. You are our heroes. Tomorrow is jungle primary. When is the special election?
If you live outside of the district, call your friends and family that live inside the district and make sure they go vote as well.
Okay. Lisa says PFAS is a problem that Colton is concerned about. Another thing I want to bring up, the bio-waste facility in Murray County. So
Yeah.
I think I had read somewhere that you were pledging to fight that, right?
No, absolutely. I mean, Murray County shouldn't take crap off anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, that's what this is, this bio-waste facility. They're taking crap off Atlanta. They're going to burn it and try to make energy. And this was sprung on the people. There's been no studies from Fish and Wildlife.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, government does have a purpose in protecting the people, but government is not being used appropriately to stop this facility.
Right.
And, Josh and I, being from Murray County, we visited the site where this is going to be built. We talked to all the different neighbors, too. I mean, people are outraged, rightfully so. This is coming in.
Well, you do know, and of course, that what I'd say groundbreaking event in Murray County where they tabled it, right? You realize they're bringing it back. They're appealing it. They're bringing it back. So I knew this would happen. They're not going to kill it. They're going to continue to try, and it's going to take one heck of a group.
Well, I tell you what, if we get elected to Congress, Josh and I will make it a top priority to do everything possible to fight against it.
Yeah, I think they're going to have another meeting in April, so I think we're already kind of assimilating people to be there. So.
Yeah.
The unfortunate thing is that there's only a few candidates who have even a snowball's chance in hell in this jungle primary to get the seat, and Colton is the only one that's put forth any plan, any effort, any attempt to use federal power or the federal, authorities of government to fight this local issue. One of the other leading candidates just said it's a local issue. It's a state problem. It's a local problem. It's not my problem. In Murray County, I mean, my beautiful home, Murray County, and it is beautiful, they're tired of seeing Murray County be used as a doormat or a bedroom.
That's right.
And so what this is it's classic abuse over there where citizens of Murray County are expected literally to take crap from Atlanta and then turn it into energy to give back to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So it's atrocious. And
I agree. Can you
it's
not
an
find
easy
some...
pickup. I don't understand why Colton's the only candidate who's championing this.
Why can't we find better industry to go into Murray County, for crying out loud? That's ridiculous to me. So
I will say there are quite a few groups of people who have done a lot of good work over there over the last 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, I was really impressed with the crowd that showed up in Murray, and listening to some of those people. Man, I mean, it was funny to watch. I'm listening to this guy, and he's just straight up bringing the facts while these other cats are just sitting here like this, listening to him. I'm like, man,
God, I love Murray County.
that was
I
a
love
good
Murray
one.
County.
Those people are freaking awesome. So, all right, next question. Sandra Bearden says, will you take a stand against illegal immigration? These people are a huge threat to our safety on the highways and to our girls and children. So, where do you stand on immigration right now? I know we're having a little bit of back talk in D.C. right now, but the vast majority of Americans want illegal immigration enforced.
Yeah, I mean, there's been no other candidate in this race who has fought harder against illegal immigration than I have. When I was chairman of Interstate Cooperation, we had the Texas border crisis hearing where I brought in the sheriff of Goliad County, Texas, a judge, a district attorney. I even brought in Tom Homan himself. To give basically warning to all Georgia legislators that, hey, this was a threat on the horizon. Mm-hmm. And then, about a month before Laken Riley's tragic death, I busted up in the Atlanta airport and exposed all the illegal immigration there. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, that's what got the ball rolling to enforce 287G and to help stop sanctuary cities in Georgia. And ultimately, I think Tom Homan needs quadruple the amount of resources he has now and ICE officers to deport these illegals. I mean, think about the rising costs in housing we have. We have 15, 20 million illegals in this country, and they're fighting for the same shelter that young Americans are fighting for. They need to be deported.
Agreed. Okay, Beth Dunn, thank you for being real and standing up for our rights. Christian Hurd says, how can Congress force government to get the federal debt down? Also, what is your view on the Iran war, and what does our end game need to be? So,
well, our end game needs to be no new wars.
I agree with that.
And we cannot allow this to be another endless war like Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yeah.
I want President Trump to finish this thing off quickly. I don't want this thing to be drawn out. And I mean, look at the price of oil right now. We've got the highest increase right now in gas prices and in diesel prices that we've ever had in the history of the United States. I mean, that is not sustainable. You talk about our economy. The only thing that's really saved our economy so far is cheap energy prices, and right now we're about to lose that. It's very disheartening when you see our Congress continue to just spend money like they just print it off every day, quantitative easing with the Fed. Our dollar bill is absolutely worthless. Every time they print off another dollar, the dollar bill in your pocket becomes worth less and less. And ultimately, what I think they're trying to do is crash the U.S. dollar and push ourselves into a stablecoin situation where you have a stablecoin issued by the U.S. Treasury. Then you get into digital currencies, and then we get into that whole one world government where they're deciding how they're going to spend your dollar, right? It's a stable coin issued by the government that you can only spend on these days of the week and for these purposes.
Yeah.
So
it certainly seems
I
like
think
that.
it's and these types of issues are what get politicians assassinated.
Yeah. So absolutely, I think that's a great question, Christian, because that's what a lot of Americans are thinking right now, and those are very real priorities that we want to see done. I don't want new wars. I want to be out of Iran as quickly as possible. Absolutely. So, happiness. Every rhino voted to protect glyphosates. Colton tried to protect us and our kids. He's in it for the right reason. The glyphosate thing is absolutely insane, and we don't have to touch on it tonight because we already know Georgia's already one of 2 protected glyphosate states, and now you're seeing this stuff roll out everywhere, right? It's ridiculous, but. Jasper, man, it's good to see you. I'm about removing PFAS, period. We need a conservative leader who will fight, not talk. Best of luck to all candidates. Thank you. Earl Klein says hello. Courtney Ann, Josh can't even vote here. What is he doing on this? So,
Well, actually, I can. I mean, I live in Trenton.
There, okay. All right. Erica says your response to the text isn't any better than the text themselves. Lies and sensationalism. We need a serious conservative, not a right-wing showboat. So I don't think she's a fan.
She's frankly confused.
Beth Dunn. Immigration is an enforcement issue. The amount of money spent in education, welfare, and taking care of the people hurt or injured by them could balance our budget in just a few years. Agree. Michael Proctor says, bottom line, tomorrow's election is American citizens against Kemp's WEF.
That's a great way to put it.
We're going to be fighting that Kemp's WEF all the way to the end of the year.
Oh, yeah.
So, let's see. It says how Colton Moore is going to pitch a fit. That's what stopped them. So, I don't know. Maybe she's talking about, I don't know.
I don't either.
Okay. Etowah Republican Assembly, good to see you. Says, if anything, this election has exposed many. I agree. Deborah 98, Texas is just campaign talk. I want to see Colton counter filibuster with auctioneering.
Well, we've auctioneered on the state budget before.
That's good. I like that. That's pretty good. Richard, no, we're not going to take Collins tonight. I didn't have a chance to get everything squared away, but good to see you, Mr. Schroeder. He's one of my heroes as well. Tori Balam says, for Georgia, House District 58. Well, great. Glad to see you on the show tonight. Hey, that's awesome. We got so many people that are going to be running this year. I like it. Vote absentee. It has no QR code, and you can keep a copy. That's correct. Erica says, do you regret standing by Catoosa GOP and trying to vet our Republican vote?
No, I fully stand behind Catoosa County GOP, and I pray that they're successful because it all goes back to our First Amendment rights of freedom of association. It's when you're out there campaigning, one of the things Catoosa County had a problem with is they were saying, hey, go vote for the Republicans. And the people at the door were saying, well, these people that you're calling Republicans in office aren't doing very Republican things.
Right.
So they've got every right in the world to disassociate with themselves who aren't following Republican principles.
Right. Yeah, I mean, look, the bottom line is if anybody it can be actually happy right now with the Republican Party and where we're at, we've got major problems.
Yeah.
We're not being represented conservatively at all by principles or anything. So we obviously need to change. So good question, Eric. I appreciate that. Mark Swanson says we have a massive LNA testing violations in Floyd County for this election. Colton Moore had only one ballot scanner tested out of 25 with his ballot position. If Colton loses, it's because the machines were not tested according to the Georgia statute.
And we were just talking about that.
Yes, absolutely. So again, what I don't know what to expect with Dominion voting systems, and nothing's changed. So again, let's see. Too late. Let me come down just a little bit. Jennifer says, why would anybody be against accountability for politicians? Well, I agree, but so far we've had pretty zero accountability for anything going on right now. So you know, it's wild. Jasper says, a Democrat candidate that is my bet for this text. The division works. Could be. It could be a Democrat. The division does work. People were alarmed about that earlier today. That was ridiculous. So. Maureen Rico, good to see you. I called the number. It's a South Carolina number, and I got a recording number not in service. So thank you for verifying that. As who knows? Let's see. Meredith Maddox, good to see you. Neil Howe, good to see you. Thumper Mateus says there's nothing worse than a Democrat fooling a Republican base and running as a rhino like Clayton Fuller. Vote Colton Moore. So, all right.
A patriot.
Thumper, I agree with a lot of stuff he says online, man. He's a good one. Big Play AT. I wish I could vote tomorrow. I'm not in the 14th. All right, so you got people all over rooting for you.
Yeah, all those people outside of the 14th, be sure you call somebody in the 14th and tell them to make sure they go vote tomorrow.
Yes. Thumper says, jungle primary rhinos get chased out of the jungle. Vote Colton Moore. Carol Streeter says, praying for all of you. Please don't forget about God and all you do.
Amen.
Amen to that. Real Viking Dude says, wish I could vote tomorrow. I'm not in the 14th, but go Colton. Set the bar. So awesome.
Bless me. Bless you. Woo. Thank you.
Sean Harris's political career amounts to losing elections. So that was a comment by Mr. Mojo. Rising Diagrams. Some things Spanberger did during her campaign sounded moderate and then got into office and went full on socialist, which is they lie a lot, right? Hey, I think this is Thumper said about Sean Harris. Ask him to identify a bull. Okay, and we got a positive for shutting down open primaries. Melissa Johnson, good to see you. Let's see here.
I really appreciate all those prayers. I mean, it's clearly a spiritual battle, and those prayers are what keep us in it. So it's all in His hands. Thank you all for those prayers.
Yes, Lynn Childers says prayers to you, Colton, and your family. Stephanie Page. J.J. Lewis, just stand on business. So J.J. Lewis is another one that's running for a local office. TYGT, wish I could vote tomorrow. Not in the 14th. Thank you for that. Melissa Johnson, I didn't get the text, or I would have called the person. So, Brittany says, I will say I appreciate Roy because of your show. I've been able to get informed on a lot of important information. We try. We definitely try. So thank you for that. Let's go down here. I'm trying to get to the bottom here. Looking good. Somebody's laughing. Erica says, guys, his talking points is like he's talking to elementary students. God bless all the candidates. I just can't support someone who supports 16 people being able to say who's Republican enough or not for me to vote for. I personally am not that dumb. Fuller is a real veteran patriot, and y'all are soaking this up. Bless you.
But it's not like the Catoosa County GOP is trying to reinvent the wheel. The Tennessee Republican Party has a very strict litmus test on what it means to be a bona fide Republican. The Tennessee Republican Party just kicked 149 Republican candidates off of the Republican primary ballot this past week alone, because to be a Republican in Tennessee politics, you have to be a bona fide Republican.
Right.
And as far as the talking points, I mean, you've gotten so much more substance from Colton Moore and his campaign and the campaign we've run than just who's endorsed him. Or
Well,
who
what,
has.
what Erica will find interesting is that Clay Fuller also supports Catoosa County's position on vetting candidates.
Yeah,
He was
said
publicly
that.
supporting it. Yeah.
Right. Well, I support it too.
So she may
but
not support Clayton.
I want to. I'm not going to take too much time here because I've done so much research on this. I'm a GRA member. I support accountability. We didn't do accountability here in Walker County. We've supported Chattooga. We've supported Gilmer. We've supported Catoosa. But here's my situation. Again, I'll go back to say it. If you're happy with the way that the Republican Party has been, then we don't have a party. Like, we don't have a party. It really is the uniparty. There's no difference. It's a corporatocracy. It's just a big club. All right? So if you've got a group of people that are wanting to look at the principles and maintain some sort of decorum of principles and judge these people, right? And
It's a constitutional right.
It's a constitutional right.
Right.
Freedom of association. And you take Catoosa County, for example. The track records that a lot of those people have are not very, not very conservative at all.
I mean, they can still run as a Democrat. They can still run as an
And
independent.
that's what it
You
blocks.
just can't associate with the
But
Republican Party.
where are those people getting involved with the GOPs, right? You don't like what they're doing. Why aren't they getting involved? Because there was a big these people, when I say like it's West Side Story, right? When I call them the Dixiecrats, the Dixie Mafia, the people that want the power and the control, right? Where are those people sitting down at the table and having conversations, right? Where are they on the issues and what the bills? They're nowhere to be found. They just want to sit back and they want to just jockey for power and keep this little money power structure in their own little court. They don't care about any of this stuff. And so when you talk to that, sure, I can understand people being a little uneasy about accountability. I can see it. I'm not stupid. But guess what? Where are these people at? They're not coming to the GOP meetings. They're not coming to try to help out people going down to the Capitol. And we've got MAHA movements, and we've got the coalitions for vaccine choice. We're working on all of these things. And where are these people? They're never there. They just want to sit back and they want to criticize, but they don't get skin in the game.
Right, and then ultimately these elected officials who call themselves Republicans do Democrat things. They tarnish the reputation of all other Republicans.
Well, it's the structure, the bureaucrat structure, right? You get into office. What do? We elect a commissioner. We elect a commissioner. Well, who does that commissioner answer to? That commissioner doesn't answer to us. That commissioner answers to a bunch of unelected bureaucrats in every stage above them, up all the way up to the Capitol. And they've built this corporate structure of everything. So, in essence, we're not really getting representation because those people are being trained and they're being taught and they're being told what to do by the higher ups.
Isn't it ridiculous that you see these county commissioners, you go in their office and they're like, they got this thing on the board that says they're a certified county commissioner? Like,
Yeah,
what in the
certified
world does
through
that
who?
mean?
You should be certified through the people.
Right.
The people are the one that runs it, but they
Right.
don't. All of these 10 steps ahead, these data centers and all these things that are happening from way up top, and they're
Right.
trickling down the bottom, and they do it 10 steps ahead. So, yeah, you can be upset about accountability, but where are you at in fighting this stuff? You can be mad about a GOP trying to do this when your entire government is set against us. I don't get it.
Well, I mean, they get the government they deserve, right? If they don't
Yeah.
get involved in it, they don't deserve very much.
Agreed. I mean, seriously, man. But hey, I appreciate Erica for bringing these questions up. I've never seen you shy away from a question or a comment. So, there's some good ones. Etowah says, showboating. What an interesting word choice. The reality is we are not in the same good old grand old Republican Party, and we have the America First True. That's exactly what we said. Thank you, Etowah. Greasy Boots, good to see you. With a did you read that? With a rebel. Man, Greasy Boots, that's funny. FBI.
Yeah, I tell you
agent-
what, if you need some machine work, call Mr. Smith up and get him to do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's one of my heroes too. FBI agent Somerville did a great, honest report about Ralston's shading dealings and protection of pedos. Colton stood against Ralston, being hailed as a hero, the only true patriot in the Gold Dome besides Charlize and Noel. Again, I'll say it again, if you can be upset with what Colton said and not be upset by the report that Derek Somerville did, then we're not the same people. We're not in the same party. We're not even in the same ballpark. So. Okay, and there's another reiteration for you about that from Deborah98. Let's see here. Courtney Sarah Ann says, just happy to support a fellow classmate.
Oh, hey, Courtney.
So-
Cool deal.
Earl Klein, good. Okay, Marty Brown. I will come on the show. I'm letting Roy get through tomorrow. Yeah, thanks all for all y'all. For doing that. Everybody's been like, "Can I come?" I was like, "Just let's get past this." Oh, Ray Blankenship, good to see you. Says Colton has been a fighter in the Senate. And I will assure you that if elected, he will bring that same fight to Congress. I'm basing that statement off of what I have seen firsthand for years. So. Let's see. Thomas, is this the only time I've seen any Fuller folk on here active, desperate? I don't think it's desperate. Bring them on. Like I said,
Throw me a fastball so I can hit one out of the park.
I mean,
yeah,
this is an open conversation, man.
You know what? He's driving your viewers up, so that's good.
Hey, more power to him. I have no
link.
problem.
No.
I've worked with Clayton and his people. I've had a good relationship with Clayton. Like I said, there's. What can I say? I think everybody knows in this town that me go back years from the 2A movement. If anybody expects anything different out of me, and I don't endorse, I'm not endorsing you. Don't endorse anybody. I don't even put the Trump signs out in the front now. But I mean, it's not like it's a secret, But let's see here. And Brittany, well, they thought that Murray County was just a bunch of dumb rednecks, and that ain't the case for all of that county.
Any of Murray County.
Yes.
That's right. Any of Murray County.
Yeah, nobody wants this, and keep in mind, they are not going to stop. They're already appealing it, right? They appeased you guys over there, and they said, "Oh, we're going to, your commissioner." I'm not throwing no shade to him. He said, "I can't handle this. We're not doing this." But rest assured, now they're going to appeal it. The land's already been bought, so you're going to have to keep fighting, okay? Let's see. Got some replies here. J.J. Lewis says Vanguard is using the county appeal to set up the appeal to the Superior Court and possibly the Court of Appeals. Murray County government previously issued favorable letters to Vanguard and the EPA prior to any rezoning. So the company will move likely it to the courts while simultaneously suing the county. So that's a very good point.
Even though he's in Walker County now, he's been a warrior against it. So credit to J.J. Lewis.
And that's the thing. You guys got to remember they're going to they're going to game this out any way they can, and they're going to use the courts to their advantage. So again, it's going to take all of those Murray County and surrounding county boots on the ground to fight this thing, and a good congressman who's going to stand up in the way.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay. Maxwell Britton, good to see Maxwell Britton says 3rd District has your 6 Colton Moore. Go get them. Please coordinate with co-sponsor Congressman Greg Stube on an Air Quality Act which bans geoengineering federally.
Yeah,
Please
absolutely.
run the ball MTG passed on, and you did say that you would continue the work that she's done.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I can't wait. Maxwell, I'm going to get him on the show. He is a very interesting dude, and he's got a lot of good ideas.
Just a great patriot.
Yeah, he's good people. So, and Jasper is also running for state. He's a House candidate, I believe, over there in Carpenter's district. So, he says, I look forward to working with Colton, if elected, to remove all PFAS and bringing new industries in North Georgia. So, good deal.
Yeah, man, I certainly hope he's able to take out Carpenter. I mean, Carpenter's all for protecting the big corporations and not the people. I mean, it's so clear and simple. I hope people can see that.
Yes.
Over there.
All right. Erica says, one more serious question. Why didn't Trump endorse you, in your own opinion? Would you care to answer that?
Well, I think it's pretty simple, Erica. Every answer that Clay Fuller has given, he said, I got to talk to President Trump, or whatever President Trump wants. And President Trump knows that I'm going to support the people first before I support anyone else. I mean, I've been willing to lose my own liberty in defense of liberty itself. I'll never turn over the voting card to leadership, to Swamp, or even the president. Now, sure, President Trump's the greatest president of our lifetime, but President Trump knows that I'm always going to represent the people before I represent anybody else.
And you got to think about it too. I mean, there's a 2-seat majority in the House of Representatives right now, and if the president has a prayer of getting through his legislative agenda that we're all working towards here, he's going to have to fill the vacant seat, our seat, with someone who's going to say, yes, Mr. President, yes, leadership, whatever you say, whenever you say it. But as Colton just said, his first priority is to the people.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I can't disagree with that. I think that's where it needs to be.
and so far, everything the president campaigned on is everything that Colton fought for in the state Senate.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand what the disconnect is there. But when you look at records, I mean,
Well, I don't either.
Clay doesn't have
You
a
know,
voting record to look at.
I mean, there is nothing on the president's website that I disagree with.
Absolutely.
Well, look, and I don't want to get started off in another tangent here, but look, we're making enemies out of people who are representing their constituents, right? And trying to enforce the Trump agenda. We're making enemies out of those people, while regular bills in our Congress, upwards of 60 to 80 Republicans will vote with the Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how is... I'd like to ask Donald Trump one of these days, like, how are you hyper-focusing on these few people over here that are actually trying to do the right thing and that have a track record, but you're not saying anything about the 60, 70 people that are literally blocking your agenda?
Yeah.
Make it make sense, that's all. If we're going to split hairs here, make it
I
make
think
sense.
I think a lot of it. He lives in a bubble with a lot of staffers.
Yeah.
And I don't trust those staffers.
Yeah, well...
I mean, if I could, I'd still vote for him.
Absolutely.
Again, you know?
I want to make that clear. And this is another conflation. We're trying. I'm not trying to go in this area, but I am so sick of this mentality where if you ask a question about something or you even have the slightest disagreement, all of a sudden you're ready to jump off this Trump train and just turn your back and become I don't understand. Are people so scared that they can't see the truth of the matter, you know? So I just publicly say that, like, I'd vote for Donald Trump again tomorrow. Okay, that's not an issue, but we must question everything that's going on. We must always think about the Constitution, the principles, and our constituents first. I'm sorry. So
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. The Dawson Harper, good to see you tonight. He says the right wing routinely ditches their principles to mold their views to the liberal orthodoxy. Colton is the only one who stands for true to his beliefs. That's a good comment. I mean, they do. They mold their view. What have we talked about? How many times have you been on the show and we've talked about what goes on as a freshman candidate, or a freshman representative? You get in there, you get your butt sat down, and you get told you either stay in your lane and do as we say, and you'll get all the little cards and all the little boxes of chocolate. And if you step out of line, they're going to make your life a living hell. How many times have we talked about that?
Yeah, I mean, I tell freshman legislators all the time when they first get there, I'm like, as soon as you figure out that they are not your friends and the only friends you have are the people who sit you there, the better off you'll be. It's pretty simple.
I don't know if you ever fundamentally, and Josh might remember this, I don't know, but everybody's got fundamental changes that occur in their life, right? There was a fundamental change in me the first time I ever saw Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz. They went on the Tim Pool show, and they sat down, and this was well into like maybe her first term, you know, and Matt Gaetz and Marjorie explained how it works when you get up into D.C., especially if you want on a committee. And they sit you down. They take you to the most expensive steakhouse in D.C., and they sit you down and they say, well, what do you want, you know? Well, I'd like to be over this committee. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to introduce you to these 10 people, and these 10 people are going to tell you how to vote. And all you have to do is you just do whatever they ask you to do. And not only will you be compensated for it, but they're going to give you things that you never imagined possible. And then they say, well, what if I don't agree with them? And it's like, well, we're going to make your life a living hell, and we'll run you off, you know? And that fundamentally changed me because it made me understand like politics.
You'll be surprised at how many legislators, even at the Georgia Capitol, sit there and just drink booze in between votes. And it's like they don't even understand the seriousness of what their vote is, that they're willing to be intoxicated when they do it.
It's crazy.
It is pretty crazy.
All right, we're getting down here. So Colton was the only senator standing up to Fonnie Willis on September 7th, 2023. One
that
senator
is
out
very
of
true.
58.
That's
Six,
very true.
Yeah. Okay. Courtney says, let's see. There's some replies here. Antonio Jones says, Colton Moore, the people's rep. His vote affects the country whether he's in your district or not. So, Let's see here. David Naha, good to see you. Still in Franklin, outside of Nashville. He's praying for you.
I appreciate that.
Louis D'Alessandro, my cousin from yes, this is another awesome show. You've been busy for this reason. So that's my cousin actually in California, and he is going to hook me up with some Republicans out in California.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
We're gonna get to interview some Republicans candidates from California that are running. I can't wait because I'd love to see the contrast, like meet up in the middle, because you wouldn't believe it, but there's a lot of Republicans in California. You know,
well, I mean, we take refugees, but we don't take missionaries.
So I love you, my this is my cousin. I appreciate you. Let's see. Alabama's moving to vet. A lot of this vetting is catching on because we're sick of all this. If we don't separate ourselves from the rest of the pack, we become the pack. I don't understand that. Gosh. Okay. Dawson Harper says, if the party cannot make a decision on who is a true member, what good does it do to have a party in the first place? And you know what? Maybe accountability. Maybe this accountability is not perfect, right? Maybe somebody like Erica can come in and make it better, right? That's what we're talking about here. If you don't like what's going on, come in and be a part of the solution. Make it better. Make accountability something that's bulletproof, right? We need to make it like you would, like you enter into it's you can tell right off the bat, right? You've checked all these boxes off. You know what I'm saying? I was going to say a metal detector. You don't go in a metal detector with metal, right? We should make accountability where it's so easy for people to say, "Oh, this is exactly." I mean, you wouldn't believe it. People don't even read the principles, right? I read the principles before I joined the Republican Party to make sure that I was okay with them.
Right.
Anyway, sorry. Let's see.
To Erica there, I wish she would publish those messages to prove it. I wish she would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That must be message you were talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
So Blake
Erica,
Ellsbury,
please send the messages. We want to see the messages.
Blake Ellsbury, State Senate. Good to see you. He's also running to. He's on the ballot tomorrow as well. So good to see you, Melissa. Yes, everybody's agreeing. It makes sense. Okay, their decorum is chickens. Huh. That must be. I don't know if that's like a Catoosa County chicken thing, but I don't know. You might have to explain that one to me, Erica. But if you're talking about the chicken war, that was amazing to me. I mean, I've never seen a county stand up for chickens.
Yeah.
I interviewed the woman who led that movement, and I was like, wow. That's where it's at. You don't tell me about chickens.
Catoosa communists is what they were. Scott McNabb. I texted with him today.
Okay, Michael Proctor. Love to see Colton and Tim Burchett join forces. Tim Burchett is becoming one of my heroes.
Yeah.
I this man, I'm going to try to get him on
Just
the
a
show.
fellow hillbilly.
He is amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's the people I want.
Yeah.
He walks out of that Capitol every night and is like,
tells you why
guys,
you know. Yeah.
Dang it, we lost another one. And I'm just like, I can feel the rage with him. And I'm like, this dude, I love it. Okay, let's see here. How can a party that wants to shut down immigration and stop the flow of just anyone in the country just allow anyone into their party? That's a good point. All right.
Hey, Roy, we got time just for a few more.
Yes, we're going to have to.
Guys out here waiting on me.
Yes, we're going to have to go. I just want to make sure that I didn't lose anything because we wanted to keep this as open as possible. Brandon Maddox, good to see you tonight, sir. Sharon Seconder, good to see you. Stephanie Gargiulo, I think let's see. Colton, AK or AR?
I'm an AR guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm an American.
Neil Howe, what would you do about all the people in this country that don't speak English and don't want to be Americans?
Well, I mean, I tell you what, it's deport all illegals. It's that simple.
Yes.
And they came into this country illegal. That makes them illegal. Deport them all. I think you ought to have to pass an English test before you get your commercial driver's license in this country.
Agreed. All right. So we've got some good conversations going on here. All right, Bo Brown is in the house. Says, good luck to all candidates tomorrow. Good luck to you as well. As always, vote Bo Brown for House Representative. So,
oh, Bo.
All right, Bo. Let's see. So Philip Thompson. Facts, Clay Fuller. We are already on this. I just wish Clay would answer my questions. He has the Lee Patterson answer when she is caught lying. So I don't know what that means. Jungle primary, oh no, from Sarah Webster. Okay. All right. So yes, I tried my. We got through everything, and we're way past what I wanted to be because he's got to go. So we tried to get everybody's comments and questions in tonight. Thank y'all so much for participating. So Colton,
I appreciate everybody watching.
Yes.
We got a big election tomorrow. Please make sure you go vote. Can't reiterate it enough.
All right, Josh, you have anything else you want to add?
It's going to be turnout. Just vote.
Right, folks,
Message
you better
all your
vote.
friends and family and let them know.
Tomorrow's it. Vote and make your voice be heard. As always, vote your conscience. And thank y'all for the special. We will not be doing a show on Wednesday evening, and then we'll see what comes next. So I hope everybody has a wonderful evening.
Yes, sir.
We'll
We'll
see
see
you
you later.
See you.
Legislature legalized unverifiable voting in 2000.
Like you said to Trump, but they're getting beauty.
They said, go out there and rob these houses and bring back the bounty, and then that'll pay your way.
Because Republicans who get endorsement from Georgia areas that they mean anything.
You can't sit on the sidelines any longer. You must get involved in the game. This is your sign.